Okay, looks like everybody is organizers, and so you can go ahead and start record. I am anyway recording it, so if you really want, you can record it. Otherwise, I can send the recorded file. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm just launching STS. So my system condition was very bad and recently, so I just reformatted of my system then, so using of completely all new setup. So STS 4.2.9 is the latest version. So JDK 8 I'm using, which is a similar setup as it is I have done. Okay, so I'm just launching the STS, then so we'll start continuing. Okay, if you all remember, okay, the until last session, so what we have really done, okay, so we have seen about how do we perform setter injections as well as constructor injection. Then so we have seen the bean factory container activation, then followed by we have also seen about how do we activate the application context container. So that then so we have seen about the various bean scopes, like how you are going to be using the various scopes, how we will apply into the application, right? I think so that is what we really stopped. So but we have not really went into the detailed discussion of the constructor injection, right? And let me try to explain you the detailed discussion on the constructor injection. Usually I'm expecting a questions from all of you, but so I don't see any questions, okay, on this. But however, still let me explain you. I don't know, for some reason my system is not what I am expecting. The working condition, it should not be like this. Okay, I am still figuring out, so that's okay. So let's continue. Yeah, so here is all our projects which we have done so far, and let me resolve some problems. Looks like so there are some problems. I hope I have already resolved everything. Come on, why is it taking time? Still loading. Why? I don't give it any burden to the system. Give me some better idea, okay, for to improve my system. So I know I am using 4 GB of RAM. Looks like it's completely allocated 3.59 GB. Why?
You are using Windows 7, right?
Yes. Yesterday until before that I was using Win 10. Okay, then as per my the laptop company was suggesting me to go back and then use Win 7, and then I reformatted a complete system, then so started using a Win 7.
In Windows 10 we have an option when your memory is getting exhausted, like 90%, usually more than 90%, you can make some changes in update setting, I guess. So
Okay. They are saying that some Wintel has some issues, some problems.
yeah,
Okay,
that was
so
great. Yeah,
they are not really regularly updating. So there are some background update process. It
yeah,
still
correct.
goes on, but it will
Hmm.
never end. And so they are saying that so the only solution for this is you need to reformat. And so you have to very oftenly you need to reformat and install it. Let's say I don't want to go to that. So, but still here also getting the same. Okay. I think I have to upgrade my system.
Just go to services.
What is your Tanko? Are you saying something?
Yeah, can you?
Hello?
Yeah, can you go to services whether any Oracle services are running or something?
Yes, Oracle will always run in my system. That is one of the big service which always hits the memory. Okay. So now
Instead
looks
of
like we are back,
running
and let me resolve the issues. Okay. And then so we'll continue here. Okay, it is just building the application. Probably there shouldn't be any issues. In core, it is still referring to that. I don't think so. Okay, let me refresh all other projects. So go to project clean. So I don't like to see any errors in my projects. So quick fix. Okay. So configure build path. It's already replaced my old JDK. So you have something called project facets. Probably there it might be referring. Okay, everything is gone. So now, okay, so the questions which I'm expecting from you all is about regarding constructor injection. So we have simply performed a constructor injection, right? And before we move on, so let me, so I think so you was asking a question related to how do you configure, how do you generate a file, right? So here is the option Spring Bean configuration file. So just moment so that you select it, so it will give you a pop-up. So give some file name spring-config1.xml. You can give any name like this. Okay, the moment so that you have mentioned, so then it will ask you to select the which XSD implementation that you want to go with. So I want to select a beans. Okay, under this beans, so what you want exactly, so that you can select it. So under this beans, so if you want to choose some version, please choose it. Otherwise you want to go with the basics version, then select that. Click on next, finish it. Your Spring configuration file should be ready in the application. Okay.
Sir, your
So
screen is
now,
not moving.
what is that? Your
Your
screen
screen
is
is
not
not
moving.
synchronized actually.
Okay, is it having a problem with everyone, please? The others, Amit?
No, it's working fine.
Okay, looks like you have your internet issues, Mr. Anko.
You can rejoin the meeting, Ankur. That will help to fix the problem.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So now let me go back to our session. Okay, so I will delete this file. It's not required really. Okay, so Spring configuration file is created. We have seen that how it is. So now let's going back Spring configuration file. So here is the employee bean. So we have performed a constructor injection. The question for you all, okay? So now yesterday I performed a dependency injection with this approach based on the parameter order which I have in my constructor. So what will happen if I change my parameter constructor order? Suppose for example, so okay, the boolean value whether is a contractor or not. So that is what I am going to declare the first argument of this constructor. Okay. Next is the sequential order. So now the order has been changed. So what will happen if I perform a constructor injection with this approach? Can anyone guess? So does this work or does this not work? I don't see any errors in my configuration file. So what was your thoughts? Questions on your thought? Come on. So will work
It
or will
might
not work?
be,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
it might be if it can typecast, it will typecast, or else it will throw error. And sometimes if false is a, it might take it as a string. If there it is a string instead of boolean, then it might take it as string.
Mhm.
If it
Anyway,
can't
you have
able to
all the
typecast.
anyway you have all the compatible arguments right here. Why don't it populate it to all other fields?
It follows some order. It takes the order. It will compare the order, the type and the order.
Okay. Others please. Good thought, Prashanti. Thank you for answering that. So others please. Okay. So the answer for this is your program will not work. Okay, exactly whatever Prashant said is correct. Okay, it will try to attempting to populate in the employee ID place. It will try to attempting to populate the boolean value. The boolean value doesn't cast. The boolean value doesn't cast to your integer. So simply you will be getting a class cast exception. So when you get a class cast exception, so you cannot really so perform this type of injection. So let me show you. So practically what is so whenever if you get this type of errors in your program when you are developing any real world applications if you are building, so if you get this type of error, you have to immediately rectify there is a wrong in your order of your constructor order of the parameters was incorrectly passed. Interesting. So, and if you see here, I am getting an exception. Okay, this exception is not related to what I am expecting. Let me rerun the program. Error, a JNIA has occurred. Please check your installation and try. Fantastic. So, the right time does give me challenges. I have run it perfectly. I don't have any challenges. Okay. Let me use the Maven preferences. Let's perform the clean. Okay, build is successful. So let me trigger the Maven install.
Sir, what is the use of Maven build?
So the Maven build which you don't want to install, just you want to build and then you want to prepare your jar or war file. Okay, and this one, what it will do, it will generate your jar and war file, and it will place in your repository with version, so safely. So whenever you want, you can access from the repository. Okay, so the make sure that so Maven will maintain all the different versions or your application whenever you are building, and that version will be maintained safely at Maven repository place. Okay, so if you are using a build and you don't see this backup file, suppose you are doing some release, okay, you are giving, so for some reason, and you have already build was completed, but so accidentally the build was deleted, the file was deleted that you deployed, and so you don't have any way to get back to you that file. Okay, if you use the Maven install, it will safely place you your file in the repository folder. You can still go back and access it and then deploy it. Okay, so now let me run this client program. So run as Java application. Error, a JNA error has occurred. Please check your installation and try again. Why? Anything is wrong with my system? Let me change my JDK. Okay, paths, configuration, build path. Might be not be compatible to this. I'll use just 1.8 version. So click on apply. Apply and close. I don't know I mean, build was saying that it is successful, but what is the problem for to running the standalone Java class? So it is not able to run the standalone class. Okay, let me perform the install. I don't think so this can work, but still let me try. A JNA error has occurred. Please check your installation and try again. Why? Let's get the Google. I don't know, that's first time. And yesterday I was able to run, so it is working fine. So one of other programs. So let me show you this one. It is working, but I have not tried for my own projects. Anything wrong with my setup? Oh, this is also working. Then what is wrong with the system? Something project visits? No. Compiler also perfectly done. I don't know what else is wrong with this. I don't have any much differences, right? So you people know that, so I don't have any other changes apart from the regular standalone. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let me build a new project. So looks like, so there is some problem with this project. Okay, so I'll try to create a new Maven project. Otherwise, I'll reuse the existing project. Let me see bin scope. project can I, if I place any standalone class are working. Okay, working fine. Let me see here only. If I write any Java class, will that work? Create a class. Oh, I'm writing something. So let's see. Can this class work? Yep. So why this class is not working? Interesting. So I'll pull this code again to that class. Let's see. Can this code works now? Okay. So now let me run this guy. No problem. Okay, so no problem. So what we'll do, we'll try to prepare a new Maven project and I'll copy paste it. Okay, something along with the setup. This. So let's go to file, new. Okay, Maven projects. He use default workspace location. So quick start. Okay, I will use the same. Okay, package com.easylearn.spring is our group ID. So artifact it is 005 only. Spring, okay, core constructor injection. So this is our BAK project, backup projects. Okay, so package, so com.easylearn is our package. So click on finish it. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll try to pull this code from here. Let me see if first of all can this is able to run the Java class. Yep. So let me open the pom.xml file. I'll copy and paste the dependencies. Okay. Dependencies were pasted. So the build should be prepared. Yep. So okay, now let me try to copy and then paste this code. So let me close all others. Save this and then I'll run this code. I don't know why Maven is not able to refer. Everything is there. ORG Spring Framework Core version library is also present. Okay. Let me so get the Google help. So what Google says, a JNI error has occurred. Please check your installation. right? So what Google says, anybody knows what could be a problem? The problem with my Maven?
No, Stack Overflow says it's some OS should be 64-bit, Java and Eclipse both should be 64-bit.
I have 64-bit only. Short answer, right click on the class and set the method run as option Java application. The guy was trying to say something else that is not correct. Oh, interesting. Had a similar issue when I'm using Java beginning with the package of security. This is not related to us. I don't think so, but so these are all. But
Is there some JNI shared library kind of thing?
where it is?
JNI shared library.
I don't have. Even I have not done any setup for that. Do you see any option for that? Anywhere to do? We need to set up
No,
that.
I'm checking Google for that actually.
What is it?
Google.
Okay. So the other solution is the Beanstalk project is working, right? I don't want to do all this research to waste your time. So shall we use this? I don't know, but how it is working? Okay, this is one. So it should be gives the same problem here also if it is there is anything wrong. So that's my blunder mistake then. So something is not right with the Maven actually. Okay, if it is a non-Maven project, it is okay. This one is a Maven project, right? Why it is working here? This is Maven project, and this is also Maven project. But what is the difference between those two? Okay, so here I have not changed it JDK, but here I have changed the JDK, but still it is working. Nothing is there in my target folder. Let me do one more quick check here. I don't have anything in this. Come on. Okay. So what I'll do for just to quickly, this one is working, right? This one also working. I don't have any clue why. Okay, this is working. If something Maven is wrong, okay, everything should be failed. There is no difference between this project and then this project. Okay, only JDK. So no problem. I can change it. So configure build path. I will go to library section, so change to JDK 1.8. I don't have any issues to changing, so I've changed it. Okay, if I run my client, it should work. No. Only application context. Okay, I can. So this one is working. Maybe because of impact. I understand.
Actually, we are getting
I understand what is the problem. Okay, let me try to. Looks like my jar files are corrupted by some X person. Okay, so let me delete all my jars. So freshly I will download. Something has happened in the intermediate stage. Maybe I have virus or something else is happened. It's okay. So because it is already using my project, so STS is launched. So I'll restart Eclipse quickly. So where is restart? So meanwhile I have to delete this. Still delete it. I don't know who else is accessing this jar files. Not able to delete still. Yes, perfect. Okay, looks like only I have why the other project is working, why this is not working. So the only thing is the application context which I've used. Wherever I'm using application context, it is unable to load, which is nothing but the jar file is corrupted. Okay, so now let me try to create my repository fresh, and then then we'll see. Okay, let me exit the other Eclipse. Okay, so automatically it will also download. So once the STS is launched, so anybody getting late from this group? Anybody is getting late? You want to leave to go office? I know you are working.
no schedule. So,
Okay. Others, please. Prashanti, Ankur. Yeah, Ankur has to go to office. The others, Pramod. Yeah, he has to go to work. I want to start work. Okay. Only me and Prashant. So okay, just give me 1-2 minutes. Just let me show you the problem, and then so please you people can carry on. Sorry to waiting you. So problem with me only. Okay, now there is no jar files, right? It is trying to attempting to download. Okay, we can see in the repository folder. See, one is coming. Okay, second one is, so it will fresh, it will download all the. If I open Maven console, so you should be able to see. Yes. Okay, just started downloading. Let's see, is there any version problem with the Maven? Because we don't know overnight what is changed in the Maven repository, right? So sometimes that also may give you challenges. Okay, so now I'm able to get correlate what is the problem with the other project also I'm using Maven, why I'm not getting. So their error because I'm not using a application context here. So this one is working fine. So wherever I'm using application context, it's not working. That's cool. At least it is downloading, everything is very fresh jar files. Let's see. So if you have any version with that jar, we cannot do anything. So we have to move to the new version. Okay, we'll try that. So now context jar is downloaded. If you see, it's gone. Okay, so now all the jars are downloaded perfectly. So now it should set up the build. So once we clean up, it should automatically clear all your errors. So refresh. Okay, done. Clean all once again. Done this. Okay, so here I am using application context. Voila. So now let's run as Java application. Okay, interesting. So at least this time is something different error. So main code employee being, oh yeah, no problem. This type of errors we can resolve it. Yeah, not this type of error. So this is the error what I am expecting. So when you run your program, see here. Okay, so previous program should work as it is. So there is no issues. The only problem is because of, so I don't require this backup projects. So move from scope, delete this. Okay, so sometimes it will give you this type of challenges, errors. Okay, that will only you will be rectify by getting based on your practical hands-on skills. Okay, so like this we have to compare one by one, then we immediately got some idea, yes, here is some problem. So now if you run any other application context project, so it will work, because something I think my system has some virus, looks like, because of that it is damaged the file. Okay, so it is working everything fine, so we are good. So now let me run this. Maybe I'll show you error, then we can leave for the day, so we can continue by the next session. Okay, so let me go to Spring dependency injection. So this should not work because it should give you the compatibility issues. Okay, so if you see here, you are getting an error creating a bean with employee objects, so defined in a Spring context configuration.xml file. Why the error is unsatisfied dependency expressed through constructor arguments with the index 0 is integer, but what you are trying to passing the value is, so could not convert the argument value is java.lang.string. So it is expecting that you are passing a string, so I cannot convert your string to integer. So simply it is giving you java.lang.number format exception with the number that you are passing is false. So it is giving you the complete exception, right? So by looking at this, a whole message they have given you the complete description. So by looking at this, you can understand, right? Number format exception, the input you are passing is false. So then, does it mean that so it is not possible to change the order of constructor? Can anyone agree with this point? Does it means based on this error, it is not possible to change the order of the constructor? Can anyone agree with this point? Is it possible or not? So the other question. The Ankur says yes, it is not possible. You cannot change the constructor order for injection. Good. How about others, please? Okay, you can replay your message in the chat window so that I'll come to know. Okay, no replace means okay, you don't have any clue. So now let me, okay, the answer for this is yes, it is possible. It doesn't matter, okay, the order of your constructor. So but what you need to do is you can specify the various ways for to detect your respective constructor. Suppose for example, I can also specify the data type. So data type of the constructor. So wherever the data type is matched, so then it will automatically inject in that place. So here is the type. So if I specify boolean, let me see. Okay, if I'm using here boolean, so then so that is nothing but your so boolean data type. Okay, so boolean data type. So wherever the boolean is matched, it should inject. So let me see. Let me run this. See here, is it working or not? So before it is injecting, it will not blindly inject. It will search where the data type of this is matching. Then matched place of this value being replaced and rest other places, it will automatically inject in the next sequential order. Right? But the challenge with this approach is, if you see here, I have a string and I have string. So one is department and second one is employee name. Okay. If I change the order of the first, if I give employee name, and then so if I give the, if I give you the, so next is the first department name, second one is employee name. So what will happen? So if I go to here, run a Java application, it is perfectly working, no problem is okay, contractor places false is injected, but employee name is become a Java, department name is Amit Kumar. That is absolutely wrong, right? How do you handle this? So then if I mention type is the attribute, so you are mentioned, then I'll go ahead and apply for which field you will apply. So here if I apply for string, so does it mean that so it will solve your issue? Does it mean so it will solve your issue? Absolutely not. Okay, so that attributes here again still even though you mentioned as a string, but it is not. So for to address this type of thing, so then there is another attribute on this field is called index. The index is the best way to avoid ambiguities, okay, instead of data types. So the data type fields are applicable only when you have a unique data types on your constructors. But if you don't have a unique, okay, so data type parameters or arguments, then so you have to use a concept called index. So you need to specify what is the order of your index value. Okay, so if you see Java is an index of, so the index always start with 0, 1, 2. Department name, okay, is the index is 2. So if I mention a 2, so I don't need to mention the second one, because if you are injecting this is 1, 2, this is a blindly it has to go to the 1 only. Right? So now let me go to run this code. So run as Java application. It is perfectly injected or not? In employee name was injected, and then so department place, so department is injected. So this is another way to resolve your conflict by using index attribute. So popular interview questions. So sometimes so interviewer can ask you about, can I change the arguments of constructor so during the constructor injection? Don't say answer is no. The answer is yes, it is possible. But okay, if you give an example, so if I have a both are same data type, how should you inject in a specific property? By specifying the index. The index will resolve the ambiguity. So if your parameters are unique, then you can use the data type. Okay, this is one of the smallest, okay, so concept in constructor. So we have various other concepts also, so that we will continue in our next session. I know you people are getting there.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, please.
If I remove that boolean from top to bottom, that will not have an effect on the program, right?
No.
So you mean to say if the suppose for employee ID and department ID we have seen string data, right, as an input. So it is
Mhm.
taking, but there is a mismatch. So,
Exactly.
so
Exactly. It
that
is not.
that should,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, that should be proper, correct. But like if data type is different, suppose we have int here, okay, for the employee ID, so that we can move from any from top to bottom. That will automatically pick and put that in
Absolutely.
exact same place.
That's correct. So you can move to this one into wherever order that you want. It will automatically search and then it will inject it. Okay, I moved employee ID into the bottom, so I should not be having any issues. Hmm. So I'm having a issue. Why? Could not convert. Okay, because I moved into the last. Okay, the next parameter is trying to injecting into that order, right? So that is the reason it is failing. So what you need to do, again, you need to specify the order of the inject. So where you want to inject this value. Okay, this is settled. So wherever the boolean is matched, in that place it is going to inject, and this is okay, is also settled wherever the second index is been there, and then it will inject. But when it comes to the Amit Kumar, is the next sequential order of integer data type, because so that is the order again it will come. So because int is not yet supplied, so it will come to that order. So Amit Kumar is trying to injecting, but it is failed. So because the order is mismatching. You're following me, right? So what you have to do, and so you have to, okay, say that suppose this order is not in the last order, so yours is the first order. So then what you need to do, wherever the so order has been changed, you need to change the order. So this is zero index, and I don't need to disturb. So because integer is also filled already, so it won't try to attempt it to inject into that place. Okay. So now let me try to run this. So there shouldn't be any issue. It should automatically inject it.
Yeah, if we mention the index, it will automatically going to pick from that, and that is fine. So
Yep.
either we have to give index if we change the data type, right?
Yes, you can also change the data type.
So mapping should be like one on one kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
If you are using index, is always one on one only. No doubt about it. Right?
But if we are not using the index, we're not getting the result. We're ending up getting error. Like suppose, like in this case, we change int value from top to bottom, but what happening is it is not taking.
Which one?
We change this value 10012 from top to bottom, right?
Yes.
So before putting the index, it is giving error.
Yes.
So what I want to say, like we have to every time we have to mention the index if we change the value. I mean
Yes.
sequence of the
Whenever
value.
you change your order, whenever if you
Hmm.
change the order of your property, it would be
Hmm.
recommended to put order. Otherwise, and try to put okay from the first arguments onwards, so try to apply the index. You don't want to give any confusion to anybody. That okay. So I want to apply the arguments order. So and apply for to all of them. Okay, in the future, if there is any some properties coming, if the guy he is going to be suddenly placed in the middle, it should not break your program. Means you can write an index, so that so the whoever is writing the next, he should specify his order.
Hmm.
Okay, but I don't
Either
want
index
unnecessarily,
or
I don't
else
want to unnecessarily to apply the attribute, but I want to utilize in a logic approach. Then you can also follow like this. Whenever you change the order, then try to apply your the indexes. Okay. Sounds good.
just
All right. So any other questions from anybody, please? Okay.
Is it
Pramod.
possible in constructor injection that without giving index, it will automatically pick the data? I mean, it will automatically map.
No. No.
Okay.
So it is not possible to do the automatic mapping is not possible because I showed you the list of ambiguities. So if you have a similar data types, okay, the ambiguity is it doesn't know whether it has to populate to employee name or department. Okay, in employee name place Java is placed and Java department name place Amit is placed. That's a mismatch. It cannot be resolved automatically unless if you explicitly specify the index values.
No, yeah.
Okay. All right. So looks like Pramod has some issues, and if others are getting please late, so please try to so leave from the meeting. Thank you for joining the session. So see you on the next session. Pramod, if you want to stay and if you don't have any problem for staying, and I'll make you as presenter, then so we'll solve your issues. Will that be okay?